Ancient American weddings, courtships and sex traditions were weird. Weddings are often filled with fun traditions. But when you actually look into the history of certain rituals, you may find they are anything but sweet, from evil spirits, to lonely ghosts, to kidnapping. There are some seriously unnerving wedding traditions that should stay in the past. There were roughly 600 distinct tribes spread across North America from the upper reaches of Canada to Central America when Christopher Columbus believed he had discovered India in 1492. Estimates place the total population of indigenous North Americans at 15 to 20 million, which is a lot of diversity and a lot of people. They had different cultures, rituals, and customs, many of which revolved around love and relationships. Welcome back to History Rediscovered. In this episode we discuss the secret of love and marriage in Native America. Courting flute. The courting flute is one of the three melody instruments used by Native American people and is an integral part of traditional Indian music. Among Native Americans, the voice is also regarded as a melody instrument. Used principally by woodlands tribes, southwestern tribes and tribes from the southern and northern plains, the Indian flute was once a means of transmitting signals in the night. The flute, however, was most frequently used as a means by which a young man could communicate his love. Native American flute was primarily a courting instrument. Man could communicate his love. Flutes were made from red cedar, redwood or pine, but gun barrels and other materials are finding their way to the skillful hands of the flute craftsman musician. Flutes are frequently decorated with small carved animals, quillwork, beadwork, leather streamers and feathers. Gun barrels were even sometimes repurposed into courting flutes. A wood flute is used in the ceremony by a guy to communicate his feelings to a woman. A young man would make a flute, set himself off from the group he was with and play a song. The guy would play a number of songs on the flute during the portrait process, each with a distinct meaning. For example, some songs would express the male's desire to court the woman, while others might express his love and devotion to her. She would hear this and understand his intentions. After listening to the songs, the woman would sing back, either accepting or rejecting the man's approaches. Once he and his beloved were joined together, he would throw away the flute, never to play one again. There are not many specific examples of flute courtship among famous Native Americans, but one that is quite possibly true is during the courtship between a Navajo leader named Manuelito and the daughter of a prominent Navajo chief named Narbona Monolito who lived from 1818 to 1839. The flute courtship ritual was significant because it was an important way for young people to find romantic partners and start families. The Kiowa people, a Native American tribe who historically resided on the southern Great Plains in what is now Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico, used the flute courtship ritual as a traditional form of wooing. The Comanche, Navajo, and Sioux have all performed the practice as well. Polygyny. The marriage of one man to more than one woman at the same time was fairly common throughout North America. In some cases a man would marry sisters, a practice that anthropologists call sororal polygyny. In general, sisters tended to get along better than unrelated co-wives as sisters usually did not fight. Former Navajo tribal chairman Peter MacDonald explains Navajo polygyny this way: a man would marry a woman, then work hard for his family. If she had a sister who was not married, and if the man proved to be caring, a good provider, and a good husband, he would be gifted with his wife's sister, marrying her as well. Among many of the tribes, wife exchange was practiced. One man might become infatuated with the wife of another and propose in exchange. If this was agreeable, the two men would exchange wives from time to time. Among the Lakota Sioux, for example, two men who have pledged devotion to each other may express this relationship by marrying sisters and by exchanging wives on certain occasions. In most Native American cultures, nearly all adults were married, yet marriage was not seen as permanent. It was recognized that people would be together in a married state for a while and then separate. Divorce was accomplished easily since the couple did not own property in common. Each partner simply picked up his or her personal property and left. Divorce was neither a civil nor a religious concern. This was a private matter among the people involved. Again, the Christian missionaries were shocked by the ease with which Indian couples divorced. They were also offended by the idea that divorce could be easily initiated by the woman. While some American commentators bemoan the negative impact of divorce upon children, in Native cultures each child had many fathers, many mothers, and many siblings. A child was not property but a member of a large family and thus had rights. Since divorce was accepted and the raising of the child was the responsibility of many relatives, not just the biological mother and father, divorce does not appear to have had negative impact on the children. Women make the rules. The Iroquois Confederacy, commonly known as the Haudenosaunee, is a Native American tribe that predominantly inhabits modern-day New York State in northeastern North America. In contrast to the more typical practice of males picking their marriages, women are essentially the ones choosing their partners in the Haudenosaunee. In Haudenosaunee society, women hold positions of leadership, wear the trousers, and are generally highly revered. They hold a significant position in the clan and are in charge of choosing the male leaders who represent them in the council. Women have the authority to select their partners because they are also responsible for maintaining the clan bloodline. When a woman is prepared to wed, she first consults her clan mother, who then confers with the other female elders of the clan. They discuss potential suitors and assess their compatibility with the woman, making their decision based on traits like personality, character, reputation, and the type of home he owns. Finding a compatible match that benefits the couple and the entire community is more important than playing a status game. Once a compatible match is found, it is the woman who takes the initiative to court the man, with the elders taking into account the requirements of the clan and the significance of keeping harmony and balance in the community. She might start a polite chat with him to learn more about him, or she might offer him a present like handcrafted clothing or jewelry. They'll probably keep courting each other until they decide to get married if the man shows interest in her. The women's suffrage movement in the United States was greatly aided by the Haudenosaunee. Sexual egalitarianism is one of the traits of the Great Basin cultures. Boys and girls were equally free to explore their sexuality, which might result in a test marriage. Both contraceptive and abortion techniques were covered in the training. Any partner might get a divorce by just moving back in with their parents. Marriage was not a requirement for having sex, nor did it always guarantee exclusive sexual rights. The marriage was not perceived as being threatened by extramarital sex. Even though it was a significant economic connection, almost all of the Great Basin cultures preferred informal marriages without a ceremony. Marriage was a private agreement between two people. Or, to put it another way, they simply moved in together. It was typical practice for newlyweds to reside with the bride's family while waiting for their first child after marriage. After then, the couple may return to live with the husband's family. In some places, it was customary for a couple to reside with the husband's family. There was a type of bridal service connected to marriage among the Western Shoshone in the Steptoe Valley. In order for the family of his future bride to be able to evaluate his hunting skills, a man would cooperate with them.